Good morning, everyone. Buenos dias. ¿Cómo estás? Bonjour. How are you guys doing? As you know, we are here on Cayman Brac, the beautiful Cayman Brac. I'm just driving. By the way, I'm hands-free, so don't be telling me off, folks. I am driving here. I'm actually going to go, I think, oh gosh, I don't know what side of Cayman Brac that is, but I'm going to go to the other side away from the airport. I do need to stop and grab a water because I find that when I'm on the Brac, most likely because I'm outside quite a bit and just running up and down, I get very, very thirsty very quickly. So I'm going to be drinking a lot of water. So thank you guys so much for tuning in last night. We had a good little mini show. And of course, we're here again. So what I'm doing is I'm actually going around the Brac. I just came from Faith Hospital, and I'm going to be talking to people through all walks of life, really. I wonder if I can get a water here. Let me just see what's going on here, folks. I want to get a water, but I actually don't have any cash in me. So I'm going to be using my debit card, and I hate to do that for just a bottle of water. I need to go to the bank later on and go to the ATM machine, but I've not yet had an opportunity to do that. So let me just see how Brackers roll. If I can go in there and say, can I get a water and come back and pay you later on? These people might be like, do you think this is the 1980s or even the 1990s? But let me see. But everywhere I go, people are very interested. And I'm surprised at how many Brackers know Cayman Mall Road. Trust me, they're all like, Miss Mall Road, Miss Sandra, and they have a lot to share. So let's see if we can get some water. We may have to come back. But it is an absolutely gorgeous day here in the Brac. And I've got a few people telling me about some issues that they're facing here. So I want to talk about some of those in just a second. So hold on one second here. Morning. How are you? I don't even. Do you need cold water? Bottled water, cold water? Okay. All right. So we're in a little store here in the Brac. You get all sorts of interesting things that sometimes you don't find in Grand Cayman in terms of like food supplies and goods. It's really kind of weird, some of the things I come across whilst here. But I only need water right now. I'm going to talk about some of that later on. Miss, do you have a card machine? Okay, because I don't have any cash. I'm sorry. Can I bring back money for you later on? I'm here. I'm going to be going by the airport a bit later on this afternoon, and I can get cash and come back. How much is it? $1? 75 cents? Can I bring it back later? Okay. I'll come back. Thank you. See what I told you? It's only 75 cents, and she really didn't want it. She has a card machine, but she didn't want to take my card for 75 cents, which makes sense. So I clearly need to get some cash, right? I'm going to do that later on. I will go to the bank. Okay, let me put this back here with my little hands-free setup. Cayman Islands Customs and Border Control just pulled up next to me in a blacked out vehicle. Now that has some serious tint on it. You can't see anything. I'm so thirsty. Thank you. Thank you, Lord, for good purified water. All right. So we always wear our seatbelts. And for me, I always wear my sunglasses so I can see what's going on without the glare. Let me read some of your comments before I start driving again. So Atlas, hello, good morning. Olivia, hello, darling. Tomasa is here, where his dad was born. Nice. Yeah, so this is the Cold Hard Truth XD, says Atlas. This is Brac style. All right, folks. So listen to what I want to tell you, because you're going to find this interesting. I need to get used to putting this car in the correct gear. I feel like You know, when you drive a car that is totally different from yours, so like the gears are different than my cars. I'm always accidentally, instead of hitting the indicator, I'm hitting the windshield wiper. And I need to make sure that I'm actually putting it like in reverse. Oh, hold on, snaps. I just put the car in drive and not reverse. I would have been featured in Mile Road for running into these poor people's shop after they allowed me to walk outside with a $75 water, because I literally just had this car in drive. And you know, I was about to hit that little gas pedal, and then we would have been flying all over the place here, folks. So I always check my little mirrors and stuff. You know, you got your 2 side mirrors and that one up there. Paul says, morning, bring me back a cheeseburger and fries from the Brac snack. Listen, Paul, I went there last night because somebody told me they have the best burgers as I got on island. So I said, I need to check this out for myself, because I don't know if I believe that. But sure enough, they actually have really good burgers. It was really good. I'm trying to remember where I'm at. Believe it or not, you can get lost in the Brac. Did anybody tell you guys that? It's easy to get lost in the Brac, but I still think I want to go that way. Have I passed the little cut-through road? What's the cut-through road called again? No. All right, let's just keep driving. I kind of feel like I haven't passed it yet, but that's where I want to go, because I'm going to go to court this morning. So apparently at the end of the month, I've just learned there's this whole Brac calendar that we need to get a hold of, so that we know what's going on in Cayman Brac. End of month, there is court every Thursday and Friday, is what I've been told. So today being Thursday, I want to go check it out and see what it is they do here on the court. I know the more serious cases they send to Grand Cayman, but apparently if it's like traffic court and stuff like that, they'll send it back. So, okay, now I realize I've gone too far. So I need to head back that way. I've missed where I wanted to go. So I'm entering Watering Place. And this is where there's like a little dock or something up here. So maybe we'll stop there so that I can properly read your comments and I can actually stop driving. There's absolutely nobody on the roads. Like, I just passed one car, and that was the first car that I passed, and I couldn't tell you how long. I mean, there's literally, like, I'm looking straight down there, no cars on the road. I mean, this is what I love about Cayman Brac. It's so, like, sleepy. Oh, let's stop here. Okay, so we can just pull off here, I think. This is just like a little beach area. We got a little bit of shade, because I want to talk to you guys about some of the stuff that the Brackers have been saying to me, because I think it's, you know, we are one island. We are 3 islands, but we are one, right? But I gotta tell you something. I feel like on the Brac, they don't have as many freedoms as we do in terms of freedom of speech, or at least that's how they feel. Because it's such a small place, the thing that all of them keep saying to me as they're stopping me is, you know, I'm going to talk to you, I'm going to tell you about life in the Brac, I'm going to give you feedback, but this place is so small, and if you speak out, you're going to be labeled. Let me see if I can flip the camera to show you guys this beautiful scene. Am I able to flip a camera doing this? I don't even think I can do that in this one. Let me see. Hold on one second. Camera. Front camera. Oh, yes. We can change it to the back camera. Look at that, folks. Is that not gorgeous and picturesque? Oh, my gosh. I see a little bit of litter. Beer cans. And look like somebody was here having lunch or something. I hate to see litter. Makes our island look so disgusting. Oh, look at all the blue, what do you call these things when you open up a can of beer? If I had $1 for every one of those that's here, I would be rich, actually. Look at that. I guess it's a popular spot to come and have this. What is this blue beer that I see everywhere? What is this beverage? We're going to pick these up before we leave. If we can find a garbage can, I'll pick these up. 345 lager. Well, apparently this 345 drink is very popular for somebody on this beach, because there are tons of, they just rip off the little opening piece there. And look, I mean, the garbage can is not even that far away. So let's at least put these in the garbage. Um, ugh, there's not a whole lot of, um, see if I can get back to, sorry guys, see if I can get back to where I need to go here. So, you know, I don't think that we need to be destroying our beautiful islands. So yeah, the garbage can is literally right here. And some lazy person couldn't walk a few feet to put those beer cans in the garbage. Shame on them. Ah, look at that water. It's so peaceful. And as we are here enjoying a nice calm day, peaceful ocean breeze, our poor friends in Texas, I got to check out the latest weather alerts to see what's going on there. But that storm should have made landfall by now and is probably doing a number on those people. Look at this. So gorgeous. I'm going to come out later with my flip-flops. More beer cans, folks. More beer cans. Looks like I need to come out here with a bag and just pick up a bunch of this garbage. Can we do something about the littering on our 3 islands? Like, honestly, beer bottles all over the place, beer cans. I mean, look at it's like glistening in the sand. All of this bright blue. Um, what do you call them? Little things that you open the bottle with. Here's some green bottles that have been smashed up. Another one there. Another one there. All over. Littering your beautiful beaches. We don't have to wait until we don't have to wait until it is Environmental Earth Day to clean up. We should be cleaning up our beaches on a regular basis. But it's so peaceful out here. Later on, I'm going to get my flip-flops and come and dip my feet in the water. It's gorgeous. So I had a few people stop me, and they were saying to me that, they're like, oh, you're from Cayman? You're from Cayman Mall Road? I want to tell you something. One lady, she's an elderly lady. I don't think she's ever heard of Marl Road, actually, but she's like, well, do you work for a newspaper and you guys get results? Then I want to tell you what I think would be a great suggestion. I said, okay. I said, sure. No problem. And she actually had a really good suggestion. She said that sometimes they have to call, I'm going to flip the camera back here. Sometimes they have to call 911. And when they have to call 911, apparently the 911 operators in Grand Cayman don't know anything about what's going on in Cayman Brac. They don't know any landmarks or locations or anything. So when they might say, I don't know, I'm not obviously not from Cayman Brac, so I don't know any landmarks myself. When they might say State Bay Church, like the accident is right by State Bay Church, or my house is next by so-and-so, because back in the day, we used to do that. And I remember actually when I moved back in 1996, there was, shortly after that, we removed our 411 or 611, whatever it's called, information where you could call and get phone numbers. Remember when that changed from being in Cayman, I think it was 411, when it was changed from being in Cayman to Jamaica. And so I remember it before it changed. It didn't, I came back in 96. I think it changed a few years after that. Because you used to be able to call Miss, I think her name is Lana, that worked at Cayman at Flow, which was Cable Wireless at the time. You used to be able to call her and say to her, oh, I'm looking for so-and-so's number. And Miss Lana would be like, yeah, they live by, or their address, right? She'd be like, yeah, they're 2 houses up from Mrs. Jean Ebanks, just for example. And she knew exactly where people were located. And let me get their number for you. And I mean, it was so different. And then when they changed it to having information services overseas, a lot of times you couldn't figure out, they didn't know who you were asking for or what location you were talking about. And if you didn't know the exact name of a place as it was listed in the phone book, then you were kind of out of luck. And so that happened a lot. And then do people even bother to call 411 for information anymore? But anyway, this lady was saying, listen, when you have to call 911, unfortunately, you get people who do not know the lay of the land, so to speak. And that has caused an issue. It's caused a delay in ambulatory services, getting to people, even elderly people who really needed the help. And I thought, wow, that's interesting. So she made a good suggestion of having a 911 number. I don't know if we'd have to change it specifically for the Brac or how that would work. But if someone is in Cayman Brac, that number routes to the local, like a local switchboard here. So a local 911 operator of someone who is familiar with Cayman Brac. Or they could just hire a 911 operator, I guess, in Grand Cayman who is familiar with Cayman Brac, but that might be a bit more challenging if they're not living here. I don't know how much things really change here. But so that was her suggestion. And she also said that, sometimes she'll call Faith Hospital and it's hard to get through to anyone. So that maybe that person could not, because I'm sure they don't get a whole lot of 911 calls on this island, but maybe they could also utilize them to answer the hospital switchboard so that they would have a dedicated receptionist. So I'm going to pass those suggestions on to the powers that be. I mean, it's worth looking into at least. It's one of those things where maybe 911 isn't utilized that often, but there are those critical times when you need 911, you need to be able to call someone for help, for urgent help, and that delay could be the difference between someone living or dying. So, and I just ran into a prisoner, an ex-prisoner, who was having a conversation with me. And he was sharing about his experiences with, apparently he was, remember when we did that live stream some months ago during the COVID lockdown? Morning of, okay, looks a little bit sauced up there, folks. When we did the live from the prison lockup there in town down by Fairbanks of the guys who were waiting to get out and had some complaints. Well, apparently he said that what happened after that is they made them all sign these, I guess, DNCs or whatever they call them, where they can't talk to any member of the media. And if a prisoner contacts any member of the media, they're going to be reprimanded. And so he said that some of those guys were actually sent back to Northward because I had come out that day. So they were penalized for trying to reach out to the media and trying to get their stories aired. And I don't think that that's right. I think that if a prisoner, whether they do it through their family members or they do it directly, contacts a member of the media, that's freedom of speech. Why wouldn't they have a right to speak to the media? Now, there could be, specific protocols in place in terms of how an interview is conducted. But if a prisoner contacts me and says, hey, we've got these concerns or we have these complaints, I don't think that prisoner or any prisoner should be penalized for trying to report something. To me, that just isn't right, even if it's just their opinion. So we're not saying that what they're sharing is, their opinion is 100% correct or whatever, but do they lose the opportunity to even have a voice whilst in prison? I mean, does that sound right? To me, that just doesn't sound right. And so he was saying that they actually forced them. He's going to get me a copy of that letter, that agreement. They actually forced them to sign this agreement, basically indicating that, if they are found to be talking to a member of the media, they will have their rights taken away, and they will be sent back. In this case, they were there at the facility in town. So I've just got word that there's an accident by Blue Marlin, just FYI. There's a few who are there in Grand Cayman. So, listen, we're here in Cayman Brac, but we still get the latest updates about what's happening. So yeah, that concerns me, and I want to see the letter. So I'm waiting for him to send that to me, because I really do want to see that letter that they have received. There's something fundamentally wrong with it, even from a human rights perspective. You know, you could see why prisoners may want to speak out. They're in a confined situation. They've already been stripped of their rights of movement and whatever, because they've broken the law, or they're alleged to have broken the law. And, you know, to then take away your freedom of speech just because you're a prisoner just isn't right. And of course, they're going to say, well, we have complaint mechanisms in place whereby they can complain to the prison director. But if the prison management is part of the problem, a prisoner may not wish to actually go through that particular method of complaining. This sounds to me like this is something that needs to go to the ombudsman's office by way of a complaint, and to have the ombudsman's office rule on this, to say that no, this isn't right. And of course, the prisoners are afraid. The women's prison, they have been trying to reach me. I know they've reached out for quite some time, because they have stories and situations that they want to discuss and talk about unfair treatment, et cetera, et cetera. But again, they're afraid to speak out. They're afraid that there will be repercussions. They're afraid that they'll be mistreated if they do speak out. And that can't be right. That can't be right. So that's something that I want to definitely look into. Because just because someone is incarcerated and locked up doesn't mean that we can mistreat them, or that we can, you know, have them forego the very basic protections that they're guaranteed under the Bill of Rights. And freedom of expression is one of those. So it's getting really windy out here. I know you guys can hear the wind. So I just wanted to, a few people are like, oh, you're not going to have a morning show today? So I've been out and about. I am going to continue my journey. I'm going to thank you, Marcia, for those comments. I'm going to continue to travel around the island, speak to people. I'm going to go into as many stores and retail locations as I can. I mean, there's not that many in the Brac, so I'm hoping I can get to all of them. And I want to talk to people. But like I said, I find that people here are very shy in terms of speaking on camera. So they're willing to say a whole lot if the camera is not rolling. But with such a small community, they're like, you know, there's repercussions if they highlight things or if they speak out. And people assume that because you're making suggestions about things, that means, you know, you are against the government, or you're saying that things don't work. And that's not what's happening here. People just saying maybe there's an alternative way of doing things, or maybe there's a better way of doing something that hasn't really been fully considered. And what is wrong with that? What is wrong with open dialogue where we encourage people to participate, you know, in this democracy? It's not just about your elected officials being out there running the show and telling us all what to do. Like, we would like to be able to give them suggestions that they can take on board. And not every suggestion is going to be workable, or not every suggestion has merit to it, but at least listen to people. And so I'm thankful so far that people have been stopping me and have been more than happy to provide me with feedback. So thanks again, Marcia, for those greetings to everyone. And finally, big shout out to the Cayman Airways cargo crew in Grand Cayman. They've been working extremely hard. My understanding is that cargo back and forth to the Brac for the past 5 or 6 weeks has been extremely busy, and they've put on additional flights to accommodate those persons traveling, and accommodate, goods coming into Cayman Brac, because a lot of people now are not able to obviously go overseas. So just like in Grand Cayman, where we're ordering everything online and shipping it in, they're having to do the exact same thing here on Cayman Brac. So the cargo flights have been hot. I actually need to go by cargo this morning to pick up a package, because when I came on the flight yesterday, unfortunately, by the time I got to the airport, the plane had already maxed out its loads. They couldn't weigh it down. They have to balance, especially those smaller planes, very, very carefully. So they could not add a second piece that I had onto yesterday's flight. So my husband actually had to take it from the airport and send it via cargo. And I understand that it made the cargo flight this morning, thankfully. And so after I go by Ashton Ruddy to check out the courthouse, then I'm going to go by Cayman Airways cargo to collect my bag, because that has some stuff in it, work-related things that I need, including my microphone and some other things. Yeah. So I'm going to go check that out. Thank you, Miss Nancy. Thank you, Miss Ethel, so much. I appreciate it. And yes, I'm breezing out a little bit here on Cayman Brac. One of my favorite places to be, quite frankly, when I just want to relax and take it down a notch and be at a very different pace. And I'm here under this beautiful grape sea, what do we call it? Sea grape tree. And, you know, um, barely, once in a while a little car goes by, but it's just so relaxing. Like I just need a hammock and some coconut water and a good rundown dinner. So anybody here wants to link me up with some home cooking, you got my number, 324-1612. That's me on WhatsApp. Big shout out to the Alexander Hotel. Their facility is wonderful. And yeah, we're going to be here over the next couple days, enjoying the scenery and taking things in. And I'm actually doing a vlog throughout the day that I will then upload in the evening hours. That will be kind of my journey for the day. So I'm doing a vlog that I'll stitch together as like a whole piece, and then you guys can watch that a little bit later on in the evening. So every evening, tune in for the blog. I don't know quite yet what time I'll be doing it. It depends on, kind of what time I get back to the hotel and I can upload it all. But I'm loving Cayman Brac. I'm loving the relaxation, the fresh breeze, just being right here in the water this morning. It's nice and breezy. The air is crisp and clean. There's no traffic. It just allows you to de-stress at a totally different level. So good morning, Alice. Good morning, Cecile, who's joining us from the UK. And thank you guys so much. So yeah, it's almost 10 o'clock. So I'm going to head over now to see what court is like on Cayman Brac. Should be interesting. I'll let you know what I think of it a little bit later on. So you guys be safe and have a wonderful day. Again, accident alert by Blue Marlin there on Eastern Avenue. So if you're in that area, try to avoid it if you can. Take care.